thereafter.
Do you remember what year you went in the Air Force?
1946.
46?
Mhm.
Where'd you go?
Well, you go through basic training and all that stuff. Then finally you get a permanent assignment.
Do you remember your first permanent assignment?
Well, you go through all this basic stuff, and then you'll get, in my case, you go overseas. In my case, once again, it was Okinawa. No, it was Okinawa.
And that would have been, what, 1948?
Probably 87.
47?
Right off.
47?
Yeah.
That was the Army Air Corps, right?
Yeah.
Before the Air Force.
Yeah.
Well, how'd you end up in the Air Force?
What?
How did you end up in the Air Force?
Well, because I was in the Army in the beginning, and then they changed the Army to the Air Force, and you could change to one or stay. You know, I could have stayed in the Army, but I took the Air Force.
And then where'd you go from there? So you made the change. Did you have to go somewhere after that?
Well, I think that I went to Okinawa.
So you went there with the Army Air Corps, but where'd you go after the Air Force? Did you have to go to school?
No, there's just now Army. You had a chance to go to the Air Force or stay.
When did you get to the officer training school in Colorado?
Oh, I had already been in several years now in the Air Force. And then, well, now you're in the Air Force. So I went to Langley, Virginia for one thing, and they chose me to go to the Air Force Academy.
And when you finished there, who did you meet at the Air Force Academy?
Do what?
Who did you meet while you were in Colorado Springs?
Who did I meet? Well, eventually, I met Judy there. I was at the Air Force Academy, and Judy worked down the hallway for me. When she would go by, we got acquainted.
And when you saw her, what did you think? The first time you saw her?
Well, she'd always nod her face or something, you know.
She'd smile when she walked by?
Well, yeah, yeah. That's how we got.
Well, what were you thinking?
Huh?
What were you thinking? Like she wants a free dinner?
I guess she was. And finally we got together. Her mom didn't spoke well of me.
Or didn't her dad didn't like you either, right?
Yeah, they didn't like me. But we went together a couple of times, and her mom and dad did not like that stuff. Yeah. So finally, we got married, and she went to the Air Force Academy, superintendent to a two-star general, and bad-mouthed me and all that sort of stuff. He told her, though, there's nothing we can do about it. See?
The mom, grandma's mom.
And then finally, it reached from the superintendent himself. It came right down to me, you know. And on top of that, part of my job was go to his office and do this. So he got well acquainted with me, you know. And she didn't like anything. So she went to him, you know. And
Grandma's mom.
No, she, went to the superintendent, the three-star general. He pretty much waved her on because he said, I can't do nothing about it. Well, she didn't like that either. That was the end of that.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody cares what she likes or dislikes.
Right.
And he especially didn't like it.
And then you moved here?
Hmm?
Then you moved here in the 60s to Shalimar?
Well, that was, no, because we went to Spain at that time.
Okay. Madrid, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was very popular with the superintendent, a two-star at the Air Force Academy. When we shortly after we got married, and we were having some shindig, you know, downtown Colorado. The superintendent, a two-star general, he did an awful lot for me. You know, he sent word to his secretary. This was at, well, we were. It was late in the evening. He sent notice by his secretary that we have a court. We have a house. In other words, where are you? It's furnished, and so it's all furnished or there. So when we got later in the day, we went to the house that they got for me. Normally, it takes a good while to get quarters, you know.
Right, but he liked you so much and you did a lot for him, he did it for you.
Yeah. Also, the superintendent is it's considered to be a third floor, but underneath you'll see it's vacant. Did you notice that?
Right.
Well, but so everything went so good for me, and I really never paid any attention to it, you know. So we got the quarters, you know, fully furnished. I just moved in and go to bed.
You think you had a lucky life?
Yes. Yeah, I've always been fortunate. And when we got married, that's when he left notice by his secretary that this is it for you. You got this furnished apartment, a big apartment with basement and all. And everything just, I've had good things all my life. All my life.
You were 30 years old, probably, that time? Yeah.
And so the next day, or Monday, we go to our office. Well, both of us go there. We were always there. She had hers, and that's how we met. Every morning, when the people started rising, this before we got married, she used to meet me there, you know, greet me. You see, everything has always been good for me. Yeah, without any. And when I went to Spain, but there was a restriction on movement because the crisis in Cuba. Okay.
In the 70s?
I went over there.
Bay of Pigs?
Huh?
The Bay of Pigs? The 70s with JFK?
Well, it was that's when this is called the.
Cuban Missile Crisis, right?
Was it? I think so. I think. Oh yeah, well, I remember. Yeah, I remember now. Because I was over there at that time, and soon it was
in
over.
Spain.
To Spain. So now back, she can come. Or she would meet up with me in Madrid. So we did. Got quarters, you know, in Madrid. And then after being there, assignments are coming up, but for me, but they extended my enlistment over there because Judy is about halfway pregnant, you know.
So you've been in that 20 years, maybe this point? Total overall? How long do you think you were in serving?
Oh, over there? Yeah, I do, because the number tour is 30, 3 years.
But overall in the Air Force or Army Corps, you've been serving since about 20 years at this point?
Overall, it's 30.
Okay, yeah, overall yours was 30, right. But at this point, you're probably in at 20?
Yeah, I don't know, much likely. So she's pregnant, so we extended 6 more years over there.
Right.
Now that was during the middle crisis.
Right. In the 70s.
No.
Late 60s?
Yeah, probably. Anyway, we were extended to 6 years, like I said. But the Cuban crisis has risen. Okay? Well, we're on alert now. We're there. And the base was quite big, you know. So now we got 57s and 52s on the going like this. with jets. There's probably 6 or 7 miles.
They're just pulling detail overhead.
They're taking off to Cuba. You see these 17s, B-17s, going around just like this. Now the jet that reaches this point here, he's gone. You can just see one right after the other.
Just taking off.
Yeah, they're headed for Cuba. But they were called back after a while. The jets were called off.
Are you cold? Are you cold?
No.
You want another one?
No, I'm good.